Welcome back to the channel. Today we're ascending to the clouds with Oblivion, the 2013 post-apocalyptic sci-fi epic that proved Joseph Kosinski is one of the most visionary directors working today. Starring Tom Cruise, Morgan Freeman, Olga Kurylenko, and Andrea Riseborough, this $120 million passion project began as an unpublished graphic novel that Kosinski used as a pitch kit to sell studios on his original vision. The result? A film that critic James Berardinelli called more of a true sci-fi offering than 90% of what Hollywood passes off as such. Whether you're here for the stunning Icelandic landscapes, the M83 score that critics described as giving the film inconvenient depth, or just wondering how a drone repairman ends up questioning reality itself, this video will break down everything. Stick around to the end. Does Oblivion deserve its cult status, or is it just pretty pictures? In 2017, alien scavengers attacked Earth and destroyed the Moon, triggering global natural disasters. Although humanity won the war using nuclear weapons, the planet was left uninhabitable. By 2077, the remnants of humanity have relocated to a colony on Saturn's moon Titan, except for a few maintenance teams left behind to oversee the final resource extraction. Jack Harper, played by Tom Cruise, is introduced as a technician, Tech 49, living with his communications officer and partner Victoria, played by Andrea Riseborough, in a sleek, minimalist sky tower thousands of feet above what was once the East Coast. From the first scene, we get a sense of his personality. He's dutiful, quietly curious, and haunted by recurring dreams of an unknown woman standing atop the Empire State Building before the fall. He secretly visits a hidden verdant valley where he's built a lakeside cabin filled with relics of Earth's past. Books, records, memories of a world that no longer exists. The film quickly establishes stakes through its inciting incident. While investigating a missing drone, Jack is nearly captured by scavengers, supposed alien survivors, and discovers they're transmitting coordinates from the Empire State Building's antenna into space. A NASA pod crash lands at those coordinates, carrying 5 humans in suspended animation, including the woman from Jack's dreams. By the end of this introduction, we already understand the impossible situation. A man who's been told his memories were erased for security reasons, confronting evidence that everything he knows might be a lie. The relationships in Oblivion form a haunting triangle of duty, memory, and forbidden connection. Jack's interactions with Victoria reveal a partnership that's efficient, comfortable, and profoundly empty. They're, an effective team, the highest praise from their commander Sally, but their intimacy feels programmed, their affection tinged with obligation. Victoria has no interest in the past, she just wants to complete the mission and join the colony on Titan. Jack, meanwhile, is drawn to Earth with an inexplicable longing. Enter Julia, the woman from Jack's dreams, now flesh and blood. Her arrival shatters the carefully constructed reality of Unit 49. Kurylenko, praised for her expressivity of face in this role, brings an earthy vulnerability that, honestly, contrasts sharply with Victoria's clinical perfection. There's a brief moment where Julia helps Jack remember fragments of their shared past. She is his wife, which reveals the devastating truth. His dreams aren't fantasies, but suppressed memories. Morgan Freeman's Malcolm Beach leads the scavengers, actually human survivors hiding from the drones. His revelation that the Tet is an alien AI harvesting Earth's resources transforms the story from mystery to war. One fascinating aspect is how Jack's discarded book, picked up by Malcolm, hints that even clones retain traces of their original humanity. As the plot unfolds, Jack faces escalating challenges that fracture his reality piece by piece. The first key event is the capture at Raven Rock. Jack and Julia, while retrieving the Odyssey's flight recorder, are taken by Malcolm's survivors to the mountain complex. There, Malcolm reveals the truth. The scavengers are human, the war was lost, and Jack is a clone, one of thousands deployed to exterminate survivors. This sequence immediately raises the stakes, transforming Jack from a dutiful technician to an unwitting instrument of genocide. Then, the second key event delivers the film's most devastating sequence, Victoria's death. Returning to the tower, Jack finds that Victoria has reported them as no longer effective to Sally. A drone activates and kills her right before Jack's eyes. The pool scene, critics called it transcendental erotic sci-fi, a moment where the sound and music arrangement almost gave me an orgasm, captures the sterile beauty of their existence and its brutal end. Jack and Julia flee, crashing inside the so-called radiation zone, which, surprisingly, turns out to be lush, habitable terrain. There they encounter another clone, Jack 52, who arrives to repair the drone. Jack subdues his double, but Julia is shot. The sequence where Jack impersonates his clone to infiltrate Unit 52, stealing medical supplies while Victoria 52 watches with vacant confusion, is both tense and heartbreaking. The filmmakers use pacing masterfully. Kosinski and cinematographer Claudio Miranda, disliking the extensive blue screen work on Tron Legacy, built a 500 by 45-foot screen of 21 monitors projecting Hawaiian sky footage to light the glass tower set naturally. This technology would later evolve into what we now know as the volume used on The Mandalorian. Oblivion isn't just about drones and aliens. It explores profound themes beneath its gleaming surface. One of the most prominent is the nature of identity and what constitutes humanness. As critic James Berardinelli noted, the film asks, is an individual defined by his or her DNA? Is it the sum of one's memories? What constitutes essential humanness? Jack is a clone, yet he dreams, he loves, he builds a cabin and collects relics. The film suggests that identity transcends biology. It's found in the choices we make and the connections we forge. Another theme, disinformation and waking from the dream, emerges through the film's meditation on media manipulation. One IMDb reviewer wrote, "Primarily a tale of disinformation, Oblivion tackles myriad issues that are relevant to our time. Do you know who you are? Who do you trust to inform you? The Tet's control through Sally's calm, maternal voice mirrors how authority figures shape our reality. Victoria's contented ignorance represents those who refuse to engage with the planet. They live in the sky and are not down to earth." The cinematography by Claudio Miranda further enhances these ideas through deliberate color symbolism. One critic observed, "The color palette gets the plot across by driving in the difference between conscious and unconscious, earthly and artificial through black, brown and green versus cream and gray. The clinical whites of the sky tower contrast with the warm earth tones of Jack's secret cabin, visual shorthand for the choice between programmed existence and authentic life. Academic analysis has even interpreted the film as a requiem for 9/11, with the ruined Empire State Building serving as a metaphor for the Twin Towers and of the crumbling of the American dream. These layers make the film more than just entertainment. They invite viewers to question who controls their reality and what they're willing to sacrifice to wake up. Some fascinating details behind Oblivion make the experience even richer. The film began as an unpublished graphic novel by Kosinski, who explained, "The partnership with Radical Comics allowed me to continue working on the story by developing a series of images. Then I basically used all that development as a pitch kit to the studio. Universal called the resulting script one of the most beautiful scripts we've ever come across." So the bubble ship was actually inspired by the Bell 47 helicopter, which is this 1947 vehicle with a transparent, round canopy that Kosinski spotted at MoMA. Designer Daniel Simon ended up building a 25-foot, 4,000 to 5,000 pound aluminum prop, with controls that were, customized specifically for crews, who, by the way, is a licensed pilot. They spent 10 days filming in Iceland, taking advantage of almost 24-hour daylight, since Kosinski really wanted a bright sci-fi aesthetic, something quite different from the darkness you get in Alien or Blade Runner. The glass tower set was honestly revolutionary. Kosinski and Miranda projected Hawaiian sky footage onto 21 monitors, forming this massive 500 by 45-foot screen, which lit the set naturally. Cruise even said it was one of his favorite sets ever. Now, the cliff scene where Jack waters a plant, that was actually filmed 2,000 feet up on Earl's Peak, with helicopters bringing in both the crew and the equipment. And, just a bit of fun trivia here, Suri Cruise appears uncredited as Jack's daughter in the final scene. Also, a Zeppelin fan noticed an error. Jack plays Ramble On from Led Zeppelin 2, but that's actually the 7th track on side B, so the needle should have been on Heartbreaker. Oh, and before the story even begins, the opening Universal logo shows the Tet in orbit, damaged continents and receded oceans, setting up the film's world right from the start. As the story reaches its devastating climax, Jack makes an impossible choice. Malcolm reveals the bomb built from Odyssey's reactor, but their captured drone is destroyed by Tet's forces, mortally wounding Malcolm. Jack resolves to deliver the bomb manually, placing a dying Malcolm in Julia's stasis pod. The key moment arrives inside the Tet. Jack, allowed entry only because the Tet senses another life form in the pod, confronts Sally's projection. He quotes Thomas Babington Macaulay. "How can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods?" Sally replies, "I created you, Jack. I am your god." Jack's response, "Fuck you, Sally," is the film's most cathartic moment. Malcolm emerges and they detonate the bomb, destroying the Tet and themselves. Julia awakens 3 years later at the cabin, greeted by her daughter, Jack's child. Survivors from Raven Rock arrive, led by Jack 52, who has begun regaining fragments of his original memories. The resolution is bittersweet. The original Jack is gone, but his legacy, his daughter, his memories living on in another clone, the survivors he saved, endures. The filmmakers intended these final moments to leave a lasting impression. Identity transcends biology, love survives destruction, and even in Oblivion, something remains. In conclusion, Oblivion delivers a visually stunning, thematically ambitious sci-fi experience that rewards patience and attention. It's imperfect, the pacing stumbles, some twists feel familiar, but its ambition, heart, and sheer visual audacity overwhelm most flaws. Tom Cruise anchors the chaos, Olga Kurylenko brings emotional depth, and M83's score gives the film inconvenient depth that lingers. It's the kind of film that reminds us why we love science fiction. If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a comment with your thoughts. Does Oblivion hold up, and how do you interpret that ending? Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more movie reviews, deep dives, and behind-the-scenes insights. Thanks for watching, and maybe question what you think you know about reality.